Hello everyone, in this video we'll be talking about breeding bristlenose pleco or bushy nose catfish. This variety of pleco is relatively easy to breed once a pair is formed. This is an adult albino male pleco. Once a male sexually matures, they develop big bush-like bristles over the head, hence they are named bristlenose. As you can see, males will have broader head and their body is shaped like a spear with broad and elongated dorsal and pectoral fins. This is an adult female. Female usually look like a common pleco because they usually have very small bristles or no bristles at all. The females have broad abdomen when holding eggs. Both dorsal and pectoral fins are relatively smaller, but the females are quite larger when compared to the males. This is my 30-gallon tank, in which I have a pair of common bristlenose pleco and a pair of albino pleco with some fries for growing out phase. I start off by feeding them algae wafers and high protein pellets with some veggies from time to time. It is a very essential part of breeding this fish. Temperature of this tank was maintained at around 70 to 75 degrees. These fish are very messy, so as for the filtration I am using an overheated sump. These fish also like high flowing water which will mimic their natural habitat. I have kept some driftwood with some clay pots mimicking like a cave. These will act like breeding ground for this fish. The male will then search for a perfect cave where the lights are dim with very little disturbance. Males will then go inside these caves for inspection. Once a cave is perfect enough, the male will spend a lot of time in it. After finding a suitable cave, the male will then fan out all the particles inside it. It will frequently clean its breeding ground by continuously fanning its fins. After this, now comes the time to choose a female loaded with eggs. The male will wait inside the cave, just sticking out its head, waiting patiently. During this time, small water changes can be done in the tank, which will induce egg laying process. Males will then chase around the female once they get close to the entrance of the cave, hoping the female will enter the cave and lay some eggs. This process might take several hours and even days if the female is not ready to lay eggs. Finally, the female will enter the cave if it thinks it's suitable to lay eggs. The female will spend hours inside it. She will lay a clutch of yellowish golden eggs over the roof of the cave. Then the male will fertilize them simultaneously. Now, the male plays an important role taking care of its clutch of eggs. It will fan out all the particles out of its breeding ground. This is the most important step as to not let the eggs get infected by fungus. The male will only take a small snack break during this time and will remain with the eggs most of the time. After about 48 to 72 hours, the eggs begin to hatch. Little fish fries come out of its shell, just leaving an empty case hanging from the roof of the cave. The golden yellow part attached to its abdomen is a yolk sac. It will play a major role in supplying nutrients to the fries for a few days before they start foraging. I have some guppies as well in this 30-gallon tank. The male has been struggling to keep up with it as it was vigorously fanning out to keep those guppies away. Because of this, few fries fell out of the cave. I then decided to raise them in a container. This stage is called wriggler stage, as its yolk sac is huge than its body. It can hardly move and swim during this phase. 3 days after hatching, the fries will get darker color and will fall from the roof. More than 50% of the yolk sac gets absorbed. As you can see, its eyes and body can be differentiated now as well. It is still hard for them to swim like adults, so they will remain inside the cave during this phase as well. A week later, the coloration will be more prominent. These fries will begin to stick over the walls of the breeding pot. Around 90 to 90% of the yolk sac gets absorbed during this period. These fries now are ready to venture out of their nesting ground. Slowly they try to come out of the pot, but since the yolk sac has not been completely absorbed, they will still remain inside the cage. The father will still fan the fries until they go out of the cage. This is my another tank, where I tried breeding my albino pair. This batch has also been successful as these fish are relatively easy to breed. Around 10 days, the fries comes out of the cage one by one. They get darker in color. With all of the yolk sac being absorbed, they venture out in search of food. The male Pleco will still take care of them during this phase as well. Since most of the fries are out now, the most important step for now is to feed them. On the first day, I have given them some boiled peas and cucumber slices for them to munch upon, following which they were also given high protein diet from time to time for proper growth and development. So this is how I bred my Bristlenose Pleco. Hope you liked my video. Please do like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you again with more projects. Till then, please stay tuned. Thank you.